Hey everybody, Charlotte here. How is everyone? Happy Sunday, very chilled Sunday in the Harris household. So I've got my mum here. She's in my support bubble before anyone thinks I'm breaking COVID rules. I'm not. So Sunday lunch and just chilling and quite nice and relaxing. I hope everyone is okay and most importantly safe. So I get asked quite a lot what changed for me and how I turned things around from my fertility taking over my life to feeling like I was in control of it and taking charge and getting some sort of control and ownership back and starting to enjoy things again. So the biggest thing for me was, as cliche maybe as it sounds, mindset. So I'm quite open about the fact I always say that I didn't enjoy anything anymore. I didn't find any pleasure in anything. I didn't find any joy in anything. I didn't enjoy going anywhere, going out with anyone, being around anyone, going on holiday, because everything was consumed by not having a child, not being pregnant, when I was pregnant, not staying pregnant. So it did really absorb everything. So I'd made a conscious effort to firstly trying to stop comparing myself, because it's amazing that, you know, people are on the internet and there's support there, but I personally found that when I was on forums and different things, I compared my journey, my symptoms, my problems, my diagnosis, my story to other people's, and actually I was spending my time researching them and what their story was, and if they'd had something that I had, or I showed a symptom that they did and they'd got pregnant or not got pregnant or had a miscarriage, I was convincing myself that that was going to happen to me. So I stopped comparing myself to others and really focused on me and my journey. The knowledge was, I think, personally the game changer for me, that I really started to research my symptoms, my diagnosis, my story, my pains, how I felt, my cycles, my ovulation, what seemed to help them, what seemed to cause flare-ups. And that's where I decided to start building the book, and chapter by chapter. So that was huge. Mindset was a huge key part in that. And I made a commitment that I was really going to invest in this financially, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. The time that I was going to invest was going to be planned and used well. And we've all done it, you know. We go and scroll through Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or a forum or a website, and before we know it, it's been 4 hours and we get to the end of the time and think, well, what have I actually learned? So for me, I found that I was doing that every single night pretty much on these different fertility forums and different websites, and I was getting to the end of the evening exhausted, and I knew what someone else in another country had done 10 years ago, because that's probably when the post was, or last year or 3 weeks ago, but it didn't help me, it didn't help my situation, it didn't help my story. So the time that I was spending on it, I started to get really specific about what I was going to do and what I wanted to learn, what I wanted to know. If I was taking something or a supplement, why was I? What was it going to do for me? If something wasn't happening and I needed to take something else, for example, my ovulation levels weren't good, so I took Clomid. So what could I do on top of Clomid? What was our backup plan if Clomid didn't work? So I started to really take things into my own hands and really choosing what I was investing in. And one of the studies that I'd done in how much people spend financially, because I get it, when you're going to go to a hypnotherapist or acupuncture or coach or counsellor, you think, oh, it's the money. But when I looked into a typical month of what I was spending on pregnancy tests, ovulation tests, different supplements, pills, vitamins, it was between £200 and £300 a month, and it wasn't really doing anything to me, and if it was, I didn't understand what. So I got to the stage where I was going and having fertility acupuncture and hypnotherapy every single week. Now, the reality of the matter is, could we always afford it? No, but we changed lifestyle, We changed so that I could afford it, and we knew that it wasn't going to be forever. And I almost made this pact with myself that I knew that I'd got to care and nurture for my body and mind, and that it wasn't just going to work on demand like that. The same as we put time and effort into anything else. So for example, if we start a cleanse or a detox or a diet or an exercise program, or even going into work, you know, say you go to university to be a dentist or a doctor or a lawyer, or you go and train to be a hairdresser or a beautician, or whatever it is that you want to do, we learn to do it, we train to do it. And that's the way that we have to look at this. We are training and learning our body and our mind and our heart and soul and spirit and energy and anything else that you want to believe. We train and learn and instill that within our body to move forward. So for example, my husband is a road worker, he's a tarmacker. On day one, when he first started, he didn't have a clue how to lay tarmac, how to do somebody's driveway or a road or a path or whatever. Now he can go and do that, because people have helped him, trained him, given him the tools, given him the expertise, and day by day he's learned to do it more, and he knows how to do that now. And then your knowledge starts to snowball, and you build it up and build it up, and soon it becomes automatic. And the one example I always use when I'm speaking to people one-on-one is, if you drive, I get in the car, most days, drive somewhere. I don't think about it because I know how to drive. Take yourself back to when you were having driving lessons, and I guarantee everyone has had this point where you used to think, oh, this will never be natural to me. And people used to say, oh, you'll do it one day without thinking about it. And you think, no, I won't. Like, of course I'll always have to think about it. We don't, do we? We don't think, oh, I'll change gear now, I'll brake now. It's automatic. And we need to give our body and our mind the same respect and the same investment. And I don't even just mean for fertility, and if you're struggling with fertility, I mean in life. We expect everything so bam, 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 bam. And you know what? I was the world's worst for it, because if you know me, you will know I am an impatient cow. Really impatient. I have zero patience. But that was one of my problems. I had no patience. I expected everything now. I expected to take a supplement or vitamin or change something for a week, and bam, it was going to work. Unfortunately, that doesn't work. It doesn't help. You know, I thought that if I felt calm for a week and I meditated for a week, that everything was going to change. Now, don't get me wrong, after the first week, you'll feel calmer. But you can't meditate for a week and then go, oh, well, you know, nothing's changing. So it's consistency. Consistency is key in every aspect of life. Now, for somebody like me, I hate routine. I really hate it. I'm very much my ideal life is different places all the time, different countries, different views, learning different things. So for me to get to the point where I was like, oh God, I need to create some consistency in what I'm doing. But within a month or two, I soon started to feel and reap the benefits of that. My ovulation was getting more predictable. When I was going and having blood tests, the levels were higher. My cycles, I'm not going to say the word better because I suffer with endometriosis, so but I started to know what was causing the flare-ups, what foods irritated me, what drinks irritated me, when within the cycle would tend to be better. So for me, days 1 to 4 are generally really bad, and then it tends to ease off a little bit. So within a few months, I had this chapter by chapter of information in my book that I never had before. It was just like, oh, I'm in pain today. But I never started to take note of all the things. So one of the other things, and the last thing I'm going to finish on, and it's hard, and I'm guarantee you're probably going to look at this part of the video and think, oh, she doesn't know what she's on about. But it is a huge part of this, is learn to enjoy the now. Learn to be happy now. Because I didn't do that for a long time. And I'd convinced myself that I would be happy when. So I would be happy when I got pregnant, when I stayed pregnant, when I had that baby in my arms. And I talk quite openly about the fact I used to say to people, well, I'll be happy when I've got the baby in my arms and everything's okay. Well, I had the baby in my arms, and as much as we had a traumatic experience with the birth, eventually she was all okay and I was okay, and I still wasn't happy. Guess why? Because I hadn't dealt with all the stuff that had gone on before. So stop pushing your happiness back. Stop relying on I'll be happy when. Because you can have the baby and still suffer with depression like I did, or still suffer with anxiety, or still suffer with low self-esteem, morale, self-worth, self-love. Because if you don't deal with it there and then, it's just going to keep moving forward with you. And all these stages in your life will keep on happening. And when you get pregnant, you'll live the life that I led. I'll be happy when I've had my scan and everything's okay. I'll be happy when I've had my blood test and everything's okay. I'll be happy when we've paid for that private scan. I'll be happy when we've gone and had the 4D scan. I'll be happy when. And I never got to that happy bit. I never got to that happy bit until years after Remy was born, because I hadn't dealt with all the unhappiness. So I don't want you to take your unhappiness into your happy stage. Let's deal with it. Sort that out, and then move forward with happiness. And there is always something. I know 2020 and even going into 2021, depending where you are in the world, is hard. It's a struggle, but there is something to be grateful for. There is something to be happy about. So let's really start to focus on what we can be happy about and move forward with our happiness all in one go. Ready to get your happy ever after, ready to boost your fertility, ready to get that kind of calm and control back. So I'm working with 4 women from the 1st of February to, it's going to be about the 28th of April. It's a 12-week programme. It's our Calm Conception programme. I only work with a very small number of one-to-one people at a time because of the closeness of the relationship. It's a hypno-coaching technique, which is a really unique technique. It's a mixture between coaching and hypnotherapy. There is a lot of work on yourself, on your experiences, your past, your present, your future. How we're going to do that. We look at diet, cycles, ovulation, stress, sleep, relationships, communication, trauma, PTSD, all of the self-work, lots and lots of self-worth, love, respect, and everything in between. So it's a mixture between an online program and coaching sessions each week, plus hypnotherapy. So all of the hypnotherapy downloads, all of the hypnotherapy sessions, are downloadable so that you can use them throughout the program, but also going forward in life. So they're yours always to keep. We have 2 options. So you can do it as part of a group program where you work as a group with other women, and you get access to group sessions with me each week. And also a private and safe environment online to speak to each other and build up friendships and relationships. Or you can work purely on a one-to-one basis. So you still do the 12-week programme online, but work purely with me on a one-to-one basis each week and get a 90-minute coaching session with me each week, plus the hypnotherapy. So if you are wanting to start 2021 with a bang, take some sort of control back, feel maybe like I did, where you just wanted to do something productive, something that you felt that you're making a difference with, and really start to get that calm, control and order back in our life, take control of our fertility and really move forward, then please contact me for a space. They are very, very limited, and if it's something you want more information on, then please just comment or get in touch with the page and one of the team will get back to you. So have a wonderful Sunday. Whatever you do, make 2021 your year. Just because we've started off on a bad foot, it doesn't mean it has to be bad. So take some control back in whichever avenue you need to. And I look forward to speaking to you soon.